Oyo State during Oyo State and its leadership scooped different corporate awards at an annual lecture and award organized by Nigerian Union of Journalists NUJ Zone B. Correspondent Michael Adeyemo, who was at the NUJ Press Center, Iyaganku, Ibadan, venue of the event, filing his report.
Call it a day of triple stars on the shoulder of most vibrant and dynamic union in Nigeria. Even in Africa, you are seeing the obvious. It was a case of 3-in-1 award moment as the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Oyo State Branch, NUP, bagged another award as the most organized labor union in southwest of Nigeria. The acting chairman, Comrade Isiaka Abolade, and the secretary of the union, Comrade Olusegun Abaton, were also awarded. The acting chairman, NUP, Oyo State, Comrade Abolade, in an interview expressed happiness to be honored as the best union chairman in Southwest, as he promised to always ensure the welfare of the pensioners and humanity in general.
Today is the most joyful day for me when I heard that at least I'll be given an award as the best chairman of the Nigerian of Pensioners throughout Southwest Zone. In fact, I couldn't imagine what happened today as an acting chairman. I never knew that they would invite me as the best chairman.
On his part, a highly elected Oyo NUP Executive Secretary, Comrade Olusegun Abaton, said the award caught him unaware and he dedicated it to all pensioners in the state. Comrade Abaton, who was recognized as the best labor union secretary in Southwest, however, thanked NUJ Zone B for the recognition.
When we were working at our union, we never expected this type of recognition. We want to appreciate them. We want to thank them very well. And we want to dedicate the award to the entire membership of Nigerian Union of Pensioners of Oyo State, the entire membership of Nigerian Union of Pensioners in the Southwest.
In a lecture, a former editor of the national newspaper, Mr. Lekan Olufodurin, urged journalists to continue being the voice of the public and ensure the democratic principles are upheld through in-depth reports and investigative journalism.
The media is not able to perform not only the roles of informing, educating and entertaining the public, but holding the government accountable to the people as provided for in our constitution. Journalists must be well versed in the provisions of the constitution to know what to demand from political office holders and appointees. Media must insist on the due process being followed. Some journalists don't know enough of the limits of the power of government officials.
Among other awardees at the event include Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism in Oyo State, Dr. Wasiu Olatubosun, and Commissioner for Information and Orientation, Osun State, Mrs. Funke Egbemode. They commended the Nigerian Union of Journalists for striving to promote the professionalism and excellence.
We'll try and build on what we have done to hand us this award. I will try as much as possible to try and build on foster relationship between the government and the media.
For me to ensure that the people who have put this together are never disappointed in my professional conduct, I must continue to work hard so that I will look at this plaque and be sure that I'm doing exactly what I'm being honored for today.
Earlier in a remark, the Vice President NUJ Zone B, Comrade Cosmos Oni, noted that the Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, Oyo State Council, and its leader merited the awards for being organized, which leads to numerous giant strikes. Among the achievements listed include African Model Building, the seat of the union, and the radio station Pensioners FM 106.7. From Pensioners FM, I am Michael Adeyemo.
W.H. Smith has warned by investors over the salary package of its new chief executive, Carl Callon. The top boss of the United Kingdom stationer is being paid a pension contribution worth 12.5% of his salary. The Investment Association has issued its strongest possible objection to the payment because it says it is not in line with that of the average worker. The company says in its annual report that Mr. Callon does not earn as much as predecessors. Stephen Clark, the company's CEO previously received twice the pension contribution award, but since then, the company has reduced what it gives its executives. Carling will make €525,000 this year with an annual bonus of up to 160% of his salary plus his pension awards. George Galloway has predicted that Emmanuel Macron will soon be history as the French president struggles to hold onto power amid record-breaking protests against his rule. The record-breaking protests taken to the streets of France could soon overturn Emmanuel Macron amid growing fury at the French president. Former Member of Parliament George Galloway made the shocking prediction, remarking that the ongoing protests were far more serious than the yellow vest protests that have dominated the country for years. The French unions are on the streets of Paris and other cities and towns across the country upset at Macron's planned pension reforms. You are still tuned to Pensioners 106.7 FM Ibadan. Now to other stories. The Republican governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has said the state will not accept new refugees under the U.S. government's resettlement program. The decision means Texas will become the first state known to do so. Last year, United States President Donald Trump signed an executive order allowing states to opt out of the program. Abbott said Texas had done more than its share in assisting the refugee resettlement process. Refugee agencies have criticized the move, with one calling it deeply disappointing. Iran has admitted unintentionally shooting down an Ukrainian passenger jet, killing all 176 people on board. An investigation found that missiles fired due to human error. President Hassan Rouhani said he described the crash as an unforgivable mistake. The military said the jet turned towards a sensitive site belonging to Iran's Revolutionary Guards and was then mistaken for a hostile aircraft. Iran had previously rejected suggestions that it was to blame. The downing of Ukraine International Airlines flight PS-752 on Wednesday came just hours after Iran carried out missile strikes on 2 air bases housing U.S. forces in Iraq. The strikes were a response to the killing of senior Iranian commander Qasem Soleimani in a United States drone strike in Baghdad on 3 January. An employee of Australian media organisation News Corp has lashed out at the company for irresponsible coverage of the current bushfires engulfing parts of the country. Emily Townsend, a commercial finance manager at the organisation, said coverage of the crisis had diverted attention away from climate change. Bushfires have ravaged many parts of the country for weeks. At least 27 people have died. Townsend sent the email after an all-staff message was sent from Executive Chairman Michael Miller sharing bushfire-related incentives. She said the email regarding fundraising and other support initiatives did not offset the impact News Corp reporting had had over the past few weeks. Millions of voters in Taiwan are going to the polls to elect a new president in a decision that will shape the island's relationship with China. Tsai Ing-wen, running for a second term, favors the status quo and does not want closer ties with Beijing. Meanwhile, her main rival, Han Kuo-yu, promises to ease tensions with China. 2 years ago, Ms. Tsai party lost the local elections, but she is now ahead in the polls, which some observers attribute to the Hong Kong protest. Ms. Tsai has expressed support for the protesters a popular stance with those who fear Taiwan being overtaken by mainland China. Elections for China's legislature, where MSI's party hold a majority, are also taking place. About 19 million people are registered to vote in Saturday's elections. You are still on to Pensioners 106.7 FM Ibadan. We will be back with some entertainment and sports stories. The movie, Doctor Strange's director, Scott Derrickson, has left the sequel over creative differences with Marvel. Derrickson made the original 2016 film starring Benedict Cumberbatch and had been due to deliver Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness in 2021. There's speculations that Derrickson and Marvel boss Kevin Feige disagreed about how scary and follow-up should be. Feige has since said it will not be a horror film and that any scary sequences would be like to those made by Steven Spielberg in films like Indiana Jones and Gremlins. The director, whose credits include The Exorcism of Emily Rose and Sinister, had played the first scary MCU film, will still be suitable for teenage viewers, PG-13.
In sport, Liverpool will be looking to take full advantage of a depleted Tottenham team and continue their remarkable season when they travel to North London this evening. The Reds lead second place Leicester by 13 points and are yet to be beaten at the Premier League this season. Jurgen Klopp's side will be favourite to keep their impressive run going against the Tottenham side without influential duo Harry Kane and Moussa Sissoko, who are both nursing a hamstring and knee injury respectively. Both players sustained injuries in Tottenham's 1-0 defeat at Southampton on New Year's Day. Spurs without captain Hugo Lloris is a probability that Sadio Mane and his teammate may fancy their chances of getting on the score sheet. That ends the sport news, and I am Idris ADEOLA.
To end the news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, here is a recap of the stories. President Muhammadu Buhari met with all Progressive Congress youth leaders from across the country at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Kenya's Agriculture Minister, Kwangi Kunjuri, has described locust invasion in the country an unprecedented threat. Republican Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has said the state will not accept new refugees under the U.S. government's resettlement program. In sports, Liverpool is set to take advantage of the depleted Tottenham team. For any information, contact us on these mobile numbers: 081 200 86270 or 081 21 88 9462, or visit us at Oyo State Pensioners House, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. The news editor is Omobolaji Akintola. On behalf of the production crew, I am ADEOLA FASURU. Good afternoon.
Regina, how do you describe a good radio station?
It should educate